Hey guys, welcome back. Today I will tell you about a new fantasy anime called I Somehow Got Strong by Raising My Farming Skills. The story begins with a group of adventurers who are up against a deadly S-ranked forest dragon. It breathes fire, causing massive destruction to the area, and the adventurers are forced to run. Elsewhere in a field we meet a young farmer named Al Wayne. He tends to his crops and is pleased with how well everything is growing. He harvests some of the crops and prepares to head to the markets. He gets an alert from his status window and sees that his farming skills have all been maxed out, reaching level 10. He is joined by his friend the fisherman Testa, who is amazed at his achievement. Testa is even a little jealous that Al even has a level 10 fishing skill when he is supposed to be the fisherman. Having maxed out all his farming skills, Al suddenly gets a special option to integrate and evolve his skills. He accepts it and gains the nature lover title B. Al is confused what this means B, but Testa sees that he suddenly has 65,000 status points with over 73,000 attack and 45,000 defense. They're shocked, but Al remembers he needs to get to the market. Al heads off to the royal capital to sell his crops. Along the way he sees the dragon attacking the adventurers. They're no match and call to retrieve. Al decides to help and throws a carrot, hoping to distract the dragon. But the carrot hits and the dragon explodes with a single blow. The adventurers are left shocked, confused of what happened, and Al is also surprised by his new strength. He quickly heads on his way and the adventurers only see his trail. Al makes it to the royal capital main gates. But while he is at the gate, there's a girl that's being kidnapped. The hooded man comes charging through, but Al jumps forward and saves the girl. The hooded man attacks Al with a knife, but Al easily disarms and defeats him. The man is arrested and the girl thanks him for saving her. They hear a bell and Al quickly rushes off, not wanting to be late. The girl asks for his name, but Al just quickly speeds off. He makes it to the market and delivers his crops. As he goes to leave the city, he gets stopped by the guards. Al thinks he might be in trouble, but the girl he saved appears and introduces herself as Fal Ys, the princess of the capital. Al becomes nervous talking to the princess, but she orders him to just treat her casually. She asks if he would be willing to serve the royal family. He says hell no, but only in his mind. Instead he carefully tries to decline, saying he can't handle the responsibility. He tries to leave, but Phallus catches him. She tells him that they would pay him well, but Al says he is only interested in being a farmer. Hearing this, Phallus offers to give him a huge field near the capital that's over 33,000 square meters. Al asks why she is willing to go so far just to recruit him. She tells him it's because he was able to so easily defeat the hooded man who had a strength of over 500. Al asks what the average strength is, and Phallus explains that the average person has a strength around 50. Adventurers are around 130. Knights are up to 600 and the legendary hero has 1,000. Phallus asks to see his status, but Al knows he can't show her. The adventurers return and report that the forest dragon was defeated. However, they don't know who did it, only that there was a carriage. Hearing the report, Phallus suspects it was Al, but while they were distracted, Al quickly makes a break for it. Despite this, Phallus remains determined to recruit him. Suddenly a guard tells Phallus she is being called to return to the palace. There is a report that a large swarm of monsters are approaching the capital. All kinds of monsters like orcs, dragons, and golems. They're coming from the Hell Zone, which shocks the king, because the leader of the Hell Zone, the Demon King, was killed by the hero and they made a peace pact with the demons. We meet Officer Cecil. He suggests that not all demons are happy with the peace pact, especially the first general of the Demon King, Romeo Van Dead. He suspects that they found out that the hero passed away and now wants revenge for the death of the Demon King. He advises that the king leave the capital for his own safety. The king doesn't want to abandon his people, but all his soldiers beg him to survive. Al finally makes it back home, accidentally destroying his door with his new strength. He is exhausted from his day and Testus suddenly comes knocking on his door. Testa tells him they need to evacuate because an army of monsters is nearby. Al suddenly thinks of his crops and rushes to his field. He is relieved to see his crops are okay. The army of monsters passes by and Al realizes they are heading straight for the capital. He doesn't want to get involved because he is just a farmer, but then realizes that if the capital falls he will have nowhere to sell his crops. Meanwhile, the king and princess have escaped from the capital, but they come to a dead end. The king is suddenly attacked with a blast of energy. Cecil transforms and reveals he is actually the demon general Romeo. He had been deceiving them from the very beginning. He reveals his plan to pose as the king using his transformation magic and rule the kingdom without the people knowing. But first he must kill the king. He attacks with his dark magic, but the king creates a barrier. The barriers begin to break as the king struggles to maintain it. Phallus helps to reinforce the barrier, but Romeo unleashes a second attack. The barriers break and the king can no longer maintain the barrier. By herself Phallus cannot defend against the attack and the rest of the barriers are destroyed. Romeo goes to finish them off with his over-darkness skill. But Al suddenly appears and stops the attack. He uses his plowing skill and shatters the ground, disrupting the army of monsters. Romeo is curious who he is, but Al just says he is an ordinary farmer. Romeo jumps behind him. But Al is able to catch his blade and throw him away. Romeo is impressed and decides to go all out. He absorbs the power from the nearby monsters and transforms to his true form. Looking at his status, Phallus sees that he is level 78 with over 5,000 strength. She tells Al to run away. Romeo unleashes his power and charges at Al. But Al counters with his own punch and Romeo is defeated. The monsters are shocked. Al won with a single punch and all quickly run away. They return to the palace and the king thanks him for defeating Romeo and saving their lives. But Al just says he did it because he wanted to protect his crops. The king asks him to serve the country. But Al declines, saying he only wants to be a farmer. The king offers to make him a commander or any title he desires. But Al remains determined to just be a farmer. As a reward, Phallus decides to give out the 33,000 square meter field near the kingdom. But on the condition that he registers as an adventurer so he can occasionally help out the kingdom. Al agrees with this deal. But when he goes to check out the field, he finds it is complete wasteland, realizing he had been tricked by Phallus. The next day Al explores the capital with Phallus and he is amazed by all the different foods. Al asks her how she can just walk around the capital, but she tells him she has a maid acting as her substitute at the palace and she uses a magical hairpin that stops people from recognizing her. Phallus takes out to the Adventurers Guild and they are immediately greeted by the guild master, who has heard the rumors of Al's strength. He takes Al over to the reception desk where they meet the secretary named Helen. Suddenly Al's stomach growls loudly, so they first get him some food. Helen makes him a delicious pie and they continue with the interview. She asks Al why he wants to become an adventurer, but Al explains he is only registering because of his deal with Phallus. Suddenly the adventurers from the previous day appear, thanking him for defeating the S-ranked dragon. Everyone in the guild is amazed and Al becomes embarrassed. The adventurers introduce themselves as Jake, Luke and Lamia. They wish him luck and tell him they should go hunting together. Al's eyes as he imagines being dragged away from his farming. Al mentions to Helen he wants to try doing a quest, but she explains that adventurers are ranked from F rank all the way up to double S rank. Because he is a new adventurer, he can only take on easy quests to begin with. She suggests starting off with a quest to collect 10 herbs from the Grim Forest. Helen tells him he should get some equipment because there might be monsters. But Al says he's too poor to afford any. Hearing this, Helen gives him her old cloak enhanced with magical defenses. Al is reluctant to accept it, but Helen insists and helps him put it on. Helen becomes dazzled seeing him in the cloak as he seems to remind her of a certain someone. She wishes him luck, but Al can only think about his farming life. Al heads out to the forest and collects the herds. While he is collecting, he comes across a peculiar black scale. He wonders what monster could have dropped it, but suddenly gets approached by a female orc. It pounces on him, wanting to breed with him, but Jake appears and saves him. The orc is defeated and Al thanks him for his help. He asks if they know more about the black scale. Jake has heard rumors of a black dragon, but doesn't believe it because black dragons dwell in the highlands and not the forests. Lamia suggests he can sell it for a decent amount of money. Suddenly there is a tremendous aura that overwhelms them. They're frozen in fear as a black dragon emerges. The dragon is covered in darkness and walks right past them. Al is terrified, but manages to take a look at its status, only to be shocked at its monstrous stats. There is a girl that's running away, but gets caught and Helen wakes up from her nightmare. The next day her mother notices that she doesn't look too well. Helen tells her that she is experiencing memory loss, unable to remember what she did after work for previous day. Her mother suggests that she is overworking and should have some time off. Al returns to the guild and has an urgent report. They meet with the guild master and report their encounter with the black dragon. According to Al, it has a strength of over 230,000. Judging by its appearance, they suspect it to be the evil dragon Ouroboros. They are shocked to hear this, especially Alan. Al shows them the scale he found and Helen is horrified. Seeing it, she has a memory of her brother running away and being killed by the dragon. It's too much for her and she faints. Al waits worried about Helen, but her mother tells him that she is going to be okay. She recognizes the cloak that Al is wearing and explains that she is actually Helen's foster mother. 15 years ago she found Helen by the lake with a cloak. She remembered her name but lost all her other memories. She suspects Helen might have a connection to Ouroboros. Hearing this, Al is determined to help out. He heads to the library to learn more but fails to find any clues. He decides to look into the reports from 15 years ago, back when Helen was first found. However, the librarian tells him that those reports are restricted and he is not high enough rank to access them. Al tries to beg, but she turns him away. Phallus suddenly appears, surprising the librarian. She uses her position as princess to help Al gain access to the records. They're led into the restricted area and they check out the damage records for the village where Helen was found. Al finds out that 15 years ago the Honora village was completely destroyed and there were black scales that were also found there. However, this incident was covered up because the evil dragon is meant to be dead. But if it has somehow been revived, it would mean the whole world is in danger. The next day the two headed to Honora village to check it out. They find it in a completely destroyed state. As they explore, Al suddenly hears a voice. He follows the voice and they come to a grave and a boy appears wearing the same cloak. Phallus is confused who Al is talking to, because she is unable to see or hear him. Al realizes he is a ghost and the boy introduces himself as Lay. The boy is glad to find someone that can finally see him and notices that Al is wearing the same cloak as him. Al mentions that he got it from Helen and Lay is glad to hear she is well. Revealing that he is her brother, he mentions how the cloak was a gift from his father and was magically enchanted. Al puts the cloak around Phallus, causing her to panic and blush, being so close to Al. This, however, lets her see Lay and she freaks out at his ghostly appearance. Lay continues to explain that Helen was the only survivor in the village and says that she's in danger. There is a flashback to 15 years ago. Helen calls Lay for lunch while he is training with a sword but trips and falls over. Helen worries for him, but Lay wants to become a warrior. Suddenly dark clouds roll in and fire rains from the sky. They rush back to the village only to find it burning and destroyed. The black dragon lands, giving off a terrifying roar. A young child stands up to it, throwing a rock at it. The dragon can speak and finds it outrageous that the boy can stand up to him. The dragon feeds off of their fear and destroys anyone who it opens its mouth, gathering dark energy. As the boy becomes terrified, Helen and Lay watch from a distance, but know that they are powerless to do anything. They decide that their only option is to run, so they quickly leave the village. But as they run, the dragon flies overhead and finds them. They quickly run the other way, but the dragon flies after them. Breathing fire, the dragon enjoys seeing them run in terror. Helen becomes exhausted and falls over. She tells Lay to go on without her and the dragon lands behind her. The dragon prepares to devour her soul, but it gets hit in the eye. As Lay throws his sword, he tells Helen to run, but the sword falls and its eye is instantly regenerated. But the dragon turns its attention to Lay, deciding to eat him. First it lunges at Lay and impales him with its teeth. Helen rushes to her brother and the dragon delights in her despair as it makes him stronger. The dragon decides to let Helen live but swears to return after 15 years to destroy her home again, causing her even more emotional damage, and then feasts on her soul. Lay swears to protect Helen even in death, and hearing this the dragon decides to bind his soul to the area so he can witness her grim fate. After that the dragon disappears and Lay fades away. Back in the present, Lay explains that the dragon always leaves one survivor so they can spread the story and create even more fear, and when it awakens it will hunt down that person and repeat the cycle. Lay begs for Al to help protect Helen, but he says that the dragon is too strong. But Lay mentions how the dragon only ate his soul. When he became despaired, he believes that they can use the power opposite of despair to diminish the dragon's power. Lay asks Al to help him pass a message on to his sister, and Al quickly heads off carrying Phallus. As he runs there in a hurry because today is exactly 15 years after the dragon's previous attack. Phallus gets embarrassed getting carried like a sack and asks Al to carry her in his arms. They make it back to the city, and fortunately the dragon has not appeared yet. Phallus calls Al a monster for treating her in such a way, but is also amazed by his immense stamina. The two go their separate ways as Al goes to find Alan and Phallus prepares the guards. Back at the guild, Helen's mother goes to check up on her, but finds that she's missing from her room. Helen walks alone in the forest and soon the black dragon appears before her. It greets her after 15 years and Helen's lost memories begin to return. She remembers that it was her fault that her brother died. The dragon reminds her how her brother would have gotten away if not for her. It says that because of her all the people in the city will soon die. Helen begs for it not to attack the city, even offering her own life. But the dragon has no intention of letting anyone live. Helen despairs and prepares to end her life. But Al makes it to her just in time and stops her. Helen comes to her senses, but the dragon attacks Al, knocking him away. Al manages to survive thanks to his cloak's protection. The dragon is shocked a human could survive his attack, but Al says he's not just a human, he's a farmer. Helen tells him to run away, but Al charges at the dragon, punching it in his face. Al tells Helen not to worry, and the dragon is surprised a human was able to hurt him. The dragon wants to see Al fall onto despair and the two begin to fight. The dragon charges at him, attacking with its claw, and Al struggles to defend himself. Al lands another punch, but the dragon unleashes its devastating flame onto him. Al is knocked away and Helen tells him to leave her, not wanting any more people to die and because of her. But Al tells her that it's not her fault. He tells her how he met her brother. Her brother knew she would blame herself when she regained her memory, so he told Al to tell her that he doesn't blame her for his death. He's proud that he protected his sister and tells her to live happily for the both of them. Al gives her hope and the dragon's power begins to diminish. The dragon curses at Al and dives at them. But Al is able to overcome the weakened dragon. Defeating it with a punch, Al is finally able to relax and Helen asks if he is okay. But as she approaches him, Al gets stabbed by her, leaving him confused. He sees Helen as she looks up with a menacing smile on her face. It turns out that Helen has been possessed by the soul and power of Ouroboros, and he will kill Wayne because he's blocking his plans to absorb negative energy from humans. When possessed, Helen tries to attack Wayne again. Mirage Dragon appears to protect him. Ouroboros and Mirage weren't completely dead. Their power is just weakened and disappeared over the years. In the past, Mirage didn't have time to purify Ouroboros, who had fled. Mirage immediately recovered Wayne's body and told him to weaken Ouroboros' defenses. Mirage's power was only left to purify Ouroboros within Helen's body. Mirage also said that Wayne didn't have to worry about Helen's condition. She would be fine because Mirage could take care of her. Then Ouroboros underestimated Wayne because he could move at will with Helen's body easily. Wayne also definitely wouldn't dare hit a girl like this. Ouroboros would play around with them for a while because he could control his power perfectly within Helen's body. But Al didn't care about his trash talks. Al attacked him and Helen regained her senses. Mirage was about to use his power. But suddenly Ouroboros' soul again took over Helen's body. When Al saw his eyes, Ouroboros wanted to possess Wayne's body. However, he realized something strange. Wayne's heart didn't have any negative energy. He only found out that Al loves being a farmer and growing all kinds of human food needs. After that, he was kicked out of Al's soul and finally was defeated. Wayne passed out and was taken by Helen to the Adventurers Guild. Some time passed and Al woke up from his stupor, and so Helen and Phallus, who were accompanying him there. Phallus immediately hugged Wayne because she was glad he was okay. Then Al was worried about Helen's condition and curious about Ouroboros. Helen says that she has been purified by the dragon Mirage and Helen's body condition is better. Mirage ran out of power and he just disappeared. Phallus was surprised because it turned out that the Mirage dragon could appear in Grimm's forest too. But he won't appear again because it has become a legend, including Ouroboros. Helen can also use Ouroboros' power because his soul is gone, but his power is left in Helen's body. With her new power, Helen will use it to help others and she will live a normal life. Upon hearing this, Wayne felt pleased and he would continue to accompany Helen to make her happy. Suddenly Phallus became jealous while listening to romantic conversations like this. That's all because she didn't know their situation in the forest beforehand. Then Helen asked about Phallus and Al's relationship. Because she was always by Wayne's side, Phallus introduced herself under her pseudonym Philia and claimed to be Wayne's childhood friend. Then the adventures, the guildmaster and Reen suddenly came into the room worrying about Helen and Wayne. But our duo said they were fine. After hearing that the adventurers wanted the guildmaster to celebrate Wayne's victory tonight, they were grateful that the dragon didn't mess up the town. The adventurers also hoped that the kingdom would give the Adventurers Guild and Wayne award for saving the city. Phallus slipped that she would provide them with a present. Luckily, Al helped resuscitate Phallus, who was still disguised as an ordinary person. At night they partied together to celebrate Wayne's victory, but in his mind he wanted to go home, because he had to take care of his farm. Wayne couldn't keep telling Tess to attend a large field alone. Then suddenly Phallus could guess what was on Wayne's mind right now. She said Wayne needed to relax and entertain himself like this. She is worried that his condition will drop if he continues to work. She also thanks him for saving the town of Alessa. She still hopes that Al will become a royal guard and her companion. Meanwhile, drunk Helen showed the power of Ouroboros to the adventurers. The next day, when Wayne and Tessa take care of the farm, the postman suddenly gives Wayne a letter. It contained an order from Wayne's parents to visit them occasionally. They miss him because they haven't seen each other in a long time. Wayne's parents hear that Al has moved to the capital city of Midas. Even though at that time when his parents took him to the town of Relugas, Wayne still wanted to live in the village around the Migas kingdom. They thought that Al already had a girlfriend, so he was willing to move to the capital. Then Al decided to visit his parents' house after completing a quest from the Adventurers Guild. Then he went to the Migas market for a while for breakfast. He bought tomatoes from one of the traders there. When Wayne ate the tomato, he felt an incredible sensation of freshness and deliciousness. Then the seller said that these tomatoes came from the city of Regulus and there is a high-quality fertilizer to produce fresh food and vegetables like this. Upon hearing that, Al immediately asked Helen for permission to go to a Regulus town for a while. He told Helen to transfer his guild quest to another adventurer. She was surprised because she thought Wayne would move to another town. Helen also apologizes if she did something wrong to him. Then Wayne said he would not move to another city, he just wanted to return to his hometown to meet his parents and buy quality fertilizer. Helen was very grateful to hear that. Al's quest would also be completed by Helen now. She has become an adventurer and works as an adventurer's guild receptionist. She can control dragons' power and she enjoyed this life because she could kill monsters at will. After that, Al met Phallus initially. She wanted to participate in completing his quest and leveling up to become an ordinary adventurer. But Wayne explained that he would meet his parents in Regulus town in a few days. He had left his quest to Helen so Phallus didn't have to bother to accompany Wayne. She is very sad because she will be separated from Al for a while and Al says he will return to Miga's city soon. Then Phallus decided to come with Wayne because she wanted to meet and chat with Wayne's parents. Upon hearing this, Al immediately ran away from there because he did not want Phallus to meet his parents. On his way to a Regulus city, Wayne suddenly heard the same monster voice as he heard before. Al was initially convinced that this ogre was good because it didn't look scary and there were some monsters to befriend. But suddenly the monster wanted to, well, let's say, to be very good friends with Wayne. But he was saved by this girl. Name is Ruri. She saves Wayne from the lust of the orc monsters. Wayne hated orc monsters because this was the second time he had been harassed by such disgusting monsters. After Ruri calmed Wayne down, she acquainted herself and told Wayne not to use formal language. Ruri asked Wayne why he was in this forest alone. Wayne should have been with bodyguards so that nothing would happen while going through this forest. Then Wayne said that he was an adventurer, so Wayne couldn't possibly have bodyguards from the city. After that, they rested for a while talking to each other. It turns out that Ruri and Wayne have the same goal, to head to the city of Regulus. Ruri suggested Wayne go there with her because she didn't want to see Wayne being harassed by orcs like that. Wayne couldn't accept Rory's invitation because the trip to Regulus city took a few more days. They had to sleep together in this forest and Wayne didn't want anything untoward. But Ruri was sure that Wayne would not do such a perverted thing. If Wayne had dared to force Ruri, he would have been beaten and probably died instantly after all. Ruri wasn't pretty and cute, so there was no way Wayne would be lustful when he saw her. After that, they continued their journey toward the city of Regulus, and in the afternoon they felt someone approaching them. But it turned out to be the postman. Wayne was surprised because postman always knew where Wayne was. After he gave Wayne a letter, Wayne showed Ruri the letters he had brought from his house. All these letters are from Wayne's mother, who misses Wayne very much. In addition to visiting Wayne's parents' house, he also explained that he wanted to buy fertilizer that could make vegetables and fruit fresher and tastier. Wayne wondered why a girl like Ruri would go into this forest alone. But Ruri said that her family couldn't possibly worry because her family and even the people around her don't care about her condition. The sun had started to set soon and Ruri prepared the tent to rest for the night. She would also cook Wayne a meal for dinner. Ruri could carry this equipment just by keeping it in a small treasure bag that her ancestors gave her. At night they talk over dinner together. Wayne admired Ruri because the food she made was delicious, and he also asked about Ruri's next destination after arriving in Regulus city. Ruri said she heard a rumor from a trader that a demon was roaming the city. The citizens who were victims there also didn't remember the form of demons. At first she only wanted to practice fighting in this forest. Still, since there were rumors, Ruri had to do something because she was a descendant of heroes. With Ruri's strength, she was sure she could solve this problem. Wayne was surprised because he could meet the person who would become a hero later. Then Wayne said that Ruri was just a girl with a big responsibility. If something dangerous happens, Wayne becomes worried about Ruri's condition. After hearing that, she was silent for a while and was awakened by Wayne. Ruri apologized as it was the first time she had seen someone else this worried with her. She also thanked Wayne for worrying about her. Then they went sleep in the tent because tomorrow they still have to continue the journey to the city. Wayne also sleeps, but not with Ruri, because it is rude for a boy to sleep with a girl. But Ruri wanted Wayne to sleep with her because sleeping in the tent was more comfortable than outside. After all, if Wayne didn't want to sleep with Ruri, he would be harassed by the orc monsters again. Because of that, Wayne was forced to accept Ruri's invitation to sleep together. Several days passed and they finally arrived at the city of Regulus. This was Wayne's first experience visiting a city other than Miga's. Usually he only delivered vegetables and fruits to the capital. Then Ruri said that she wanted to see Wayne again. It was the first time she had traveled with someone like this, so Ruri drew a detailed map of the city to tell the location of the inn that Ruri would be staying in. Wayne also wanted Ruri to be his bodyguard during the return trip to Migas. Hearing that, Ruri was pleased and would wait for Wayne after she finished solving the problems in this city. After that, Ruri started looking for more detailed information about the demons and the chaos that happened to some residents. But sadly, they didn't know anything about the demon Ruri was referring to. And this city still looked peaceful. Ruri felt strange about this situation because it should be the victim who didn't remember the demon's mess, not the citizens. Suddenly Ruri heard a scream from a girl, and when she approached the voice, the girl asked Ruri for help. Her little sister had been kidnapped by a demon into the forest. Also, she had not remembered what the demon looked like. After hearing that, Ruri immediately entered the forest. On the other hand, there was someone mysteriously watching her from afar. In the afternoon, Wayne arrived at his parents' house. When Wayne wanted to ring the doorbell, her mother Lucia greeted Wayne happily. Soon after, Wayne's father Jill beats Wayne because he thinks Wayne is flirting with Lucia. But after Jill found out that Wayne was his son, Lucia immediately hit him back for hurting Wayne. Lucia is a mother who loves her child very much. She is also obsessed with being with Wayne forever. Even when Wayne is bathing or sleeping, Lucia is always with him. After dinner, Wayne said that his cooking was the best compared to Ruri. When she heard the name from Wayne, she becomes jealous that Wayne shouldn't have any relationship with other girls. But his father was very happy to hear Wayne's words because he finally got married and would have children. However, Lucia still disagrees because Wayne still has to be with her into adulthood. Then Wayne went in the Jill room to talk for a bit. He is curious about the chaos the demons are wreaking in this town, but he says he's never heard of such news or rumors. Regulus City was always peaceful and the citizens did their normal activities. Upon hearing this, Wayne became more suspicious and worried about Ruri's current state. Then Wayne also wanted to know where to buy the best fertilizer in town, and after Jill told him the place, Wayne would sleep in his room because Wayne didn't want to sleep with his mother because he was sure to be kissed and hugged with the same power as before. Jill also didn't want to sleep with his wife because he was sure to have the same experience as Wayne. The next day, Wayne had managed to buy the best fertilizer in Regulus and was going to visit Ruri's inn, but suddenly Wayne heard a scream, and when Wayne approached the voice, it turned out to be the mysterious person we had previously seen. This mysterious person said he had been attacked by a demon and a blue-haired girl was chasing the demon in the forest. Wayne immediately went there to protect Ruri because this situation was very strange. Then suddenly this mysterious person lost his disguise, and it turned out that the residents around him were just camouflaged. Finally, Wayne arrived in the forest and saw the same girl Ruri had met before. Wayne immediately helped the girl, but it was a demon who then attacked Wayne, but he was saved by the Ruri. After that, mysterious man appeared, introducing himself as Loki and revealing himself to be a demon bee. He is amused at how Ruri was so easily tricked, when no one in the town has seen any demons, calling her unworthy of being the hero. Ruri wonders why Al was dragged into this when he should just be after her. But Loki says Al is actually more important than her, because he single-handedly defeated the demon General Romeo and the evil dragon. Al realizes he is one of the demon's allies, but Loki says they weren't even on his level. Ruri charges at him, but he easily dodges and counter-attacks. Al rushes to Ruri and uses his healing magic on her. Loki is surprised by this ability and regrets not dealing with Al first. Ruri apologizes to Al and says that she is no match for him, but Al tells her not to worry because he is farmer. He rushes at Loki but gets thrown away. Al continues his attack but gets slammed into the ground. There is a massive crater and Al barely holds on, but he jumps back up and manages to land a punch on Loki. Loki retaliates with a punch of his own infused with dark energy, which blows it all away. As Al falls, his package is cracked open. Loki's wounds begin to heal and he can see how the other demons were no match for Al. Al also casts healing on himself and gets back up. Loki is ready to end things, but Al asks why he is targeting him. Loki explains that he is going after everyone who could pose a threat to his future plans besides Al and Ruri. He is also going after Helen next because she inherited the evil dragon's powers. Al is surprised to hear Helen is a target. Loki then goes on about Ruri, who should have the holy god's blessing as the next hero. But she hasn't been able to use any of the holy god's power. He decides to put things to an end and summons his worm demons. Al and Ruri struggle against the worms and Ruri tells Al to make a run for it. But Al refuses and fights back against the worms, saying he wants to be the best farmer and that he wouldn't be able to live with himself if he just left her. They finish off the worms, but Loki launches another attack. Al shields Ruri from the magic and there is a huge explosion. When the smoke clears, they manage to survive but appear badly wounded. More worms emerge as Ruri is knocked away and Al gets pinned down. Loki tells him that once the worms bite down they never let go. He then turns to Ruri to finish her off, and she thinks back to her parents encouraging her despite others saying she couldn't be a hero. She apologizes for failing to become a hero as Loki launches his attack to finish her off. But suddenly the worms turn white and shatter. As Al gets free, he explains that this is thanks to the power of his fertilizer, which has a pesticide effect. With this, the worms are unable to regenerate. Although surprised, Loki isn't worried because Al is already so injured. But Al charges at him anyway and he swears to protect Ruri and Helen. Ruri is confused about why Al is fighting so hard. She thinks back to her past when everyone is telling her she was too weak to be the hero and she gave up. But looking at Al's determination, she realizes that being a hero is not about being strong, but it's someone who never gives up trying to help no matter what. While Al is fighting Loki, Ruri manages to stab him. Loki's wound instantly heals, but Ruri is determined to fight even if she can't win. Ruri suddenly awakens her hero's powers and attacks Loki with her holy slash. The attack is super effective and Ruri follows up with another slash which finishes him off. Ruri thanks Al for helping her realize what it means to be a hero. But Al collapses in exhaustion. While he sleeps on her lap, Ruri confesses that she has a crush on him. It becomes night and Al finally wakes up. They have an awkward moment and Ruri thanks Al once again but ends up getting embarrassed. They decide to head back to the town, but as they walk they suddenly hear a strange sound. Al wonders if Loki could still be alive. The sound gets louder and Rory gets scared, saying she can't handle ghosts. It's a voice that calls for Al and it turns out to be his mother looking for him. Al realizes it's his mother. Not wanting to be caught with Ruri, he says they should run for it. He picks her up and quickly runs away. Al is relieved when they get away and Ruri laughs at him, seeing that there is something he is scared of, and Al can only imagine the side of his mother. They end up back in town and are shocked when they find that the hotel is no longer there. Realizing it was Loki's illusion, Ruri finds another place to stay and Al tells her he will be heading back to the capital the next day. As Al heads back home, he remembers a time when he went out to play with Tessa without telling his parents and his mother came looking for him. They were scared to get in trouble so they snuck home. But when he got back, she was waiting for him at the door. Al wonders if she can somehow teleport. As Al gets back to the house, his mother is once again waiting for him. He tries to avoid her but she suddenly appears behind him. Al is terrified and runs. He runs straight past his father into his room, which causes his father to panic. As he is left to deal with his mother. The next day his mother begs him not to leave. Al has no choice and says that he will hate her if she behaves like this, and she immediately apologizes. They say their farewells and Al's mother asks if he intends to continue as a farmer. She suggests that he should stop if he is doing it for another reason. But Al assures her that he is doing it because he loves this. Al heads off and meets up with Ruri and they head back to the capital. Al discussed with her father the problems in the city of Midas. After that, Phallus was forced to decide to leave the kingdom to save the city. The next day Rory and Wayne arrived at the city of Megas and visit to the Adventurers Guild. When Rory met Helen, Helen was very jealous that Wayne had brought another girl to this town. Then Rory acquainted Helen and said that she was a descendant of heroes. Her relationship with Wayne was like friends. But Rory wanted Wayne to be hers. Helen is happy to meet Rory and Helen will also fight her for Wayne. After that, she and Rory helped Al harvest the vegetables. They also caught a kid stealing eggplants from Wayne's farm. Wayne was very angry because the eggplant this child picked was still raw. He advised the boy to steal here again when the vegetables were ready to be harvested. Girls were astonished that Al had suggested such a strange thing to the boy. Then Al gave the boy some cabbage and he thanked him and left. After that, Helen told Wayne about the situation that the city of Midas was going through. While Wayne went to Regulus, Megas town was always attacked by many monsters. Helen and the adventurers were always fighting against them, and this caused market trading to be disrupted. As a result, the residents' income has decreased and some families have difficulty getting food. Then suddenly the Megas town bell rang, indicating that many monsters were attacking the town. Al, Helen and Rory returned to the town to help the adventurers there. Wayne and his friends continue to fight these monsters. But unfortunately other monsters keep coming to the city and there is no end. Not long after, the troops from the country of Antis Brooks brought a holy sword rabbit in to drive away the monsters. If the monsters don't leave Megas, they will die by the power of the sword. Then the monsters immediately left and the city was now safe. Thanks to the country of Antis Brooks, the adventures, Wayne and his friends are confused by this situation, because they just found out that there is a holy sword that can repel monsters. After that, Wayne returned to his house to harvest vegetables again. At night, Phallus suddenly came to Wayne's house to say goodbye. He asks her to explain what is going on with the kingdom. but Fallies was silent and she would never come back here again, so she wanted to see Wayne one last time. After that she left without explaining the problem she was experiencing to Wayne. This worried him until the morning, because Al had never seen Fallies' face like that. Not long after yesterday's kid came to see Wayne. He came here with his mother to apologize for the theft of Wayne's eggplant. The mother wanted to give Wayne clothes as an apology because she worked as a tailor, but Wayne refused because he had forgiven this boy's behavior. After that they bought Wayne's vegetables and immediately returned to town. Shortly after, Leeks, the postman, came to Wayne's house to deliver a letter from Wayne's mother. He also informed Wayne about the news in the newspaper just released today. When Al read it he was shocked and immediately went to the Adventurers Guild to meet Helen and Rory. On the other hand, Helen and Rory were having lunch together. Helen had also just read the news in the newspaper, which turned out to be about Fallies getting married to the Prince of Antisbrook's country. After they learned about this, Rory and Helen were very confused because the country of Antisbrooks was very suspicious. Monsters would not understand human speech and the Holy Sword had no origin. Not long after Wayne arrived at the Adventurers Guild and told them to read a letter from Wayne's mother Lucia. Wayne had read it earlier and this was Fallies related stuff. Lucia had heard the news that the city of Midas was invaded by monsters yesterday. She wanted to kill the monsters all at once to avoid trouble in Wayne's trade routes, but she didn't do it and decided to investigate further about this oddity. Lucia found proof that the Holy Sword in the country of Antisbrooks was just an ordinary sword. Lucia could know this information because she had been the captain of the Shadow Puppet organization when she was young. Yesterday's monsters that came to Miga's city had order from a demon. He was forced to carry out this attack because his lover was being held captive by the country of Antisbrooks. Prince of that country also asked the kingdom of Midas to marry Princess Valleys. Then Helen and Rory were shocked to hear this information. They were also even more surprised because of Wayne's mother as a former Puppets of Shadow organization member. Wayne did not know this, because his mother had never told him about her past. The Puppets of Shadow is an organization that can get any information in this world. Even they can get classified information that is covered up by the country. Then Wayne wanted to save Fallies immediately because she was in a dangerous situation. Helen and Rory wondered why Wayne could be so eager to save Fallies. Even Wayne only called Fallies by name without the princess as a sign of respect. Then Wayne got nervous and said he had accidentally said her name directly. Wayne reasoned that rescuing the princess was the top priority for adventurers, since every country needed a successor. Then Wayne also brought Leeks to this Adventurers Guild to discuss a plan to save Fallies and the demon's lover. In Antisbrooks, a prince named Nadiel is receiving a meeting from several countries. Many countries have been attacked by countless monsters relentlessly and they want this kingdom to protect every country. They are ready to pay at any cost as long as Prince Nadiel is willing to overcome the monsters in each country. Before continue, just to remind you, you can become a channel member to support my work and get full versions without censures. You will also get a lot of benefits. You can check what level of membership you like. Sorry for interrupting. Now let's continue. Then he accepted this offer and promised to secure every country with a holy sword Revatin. At night Prince was very happy because he could deceive many countries with games like this. Then the demon leading the monsters Gazelle didn't want to do this anymore. But Nadiel punches him and says that Gazelle's lover will be tortured if he disobeys Nadiel's orders. Not long after Fallies came to Nadiel's room to stop the violent actions against Gazelle. But Nadiel didn't care about that because the power of the Antisbrooks country was almost at its maximum. Then the leader of the Antisbrooks squad came to meet Nadiel. He said that the special wedding horse carriage had yet to arrive at the kingdom. Nadiel was furious and ordered the leader of the Antisbrooks squad to prepare any horse carriage to get to the wedding on time. After that Fallies returned to her room and was sad. Because she had to do this to follow the game of Nadiel. She wants to meet Wayne because he is the only person who can save her right now. The next day Leeks, Helen and Rory had prepared a horse carriage to head to the Antisbrooks kingdom. Meanwhile Al apparently ordered a wedding dress from the tailor's mother yesterday and immediately met Leeks and girls. On the other hand, one of the knights from the Antisbrooks army sent a letter to Leeks and his friends. He said that the procedure for entering the kingdom was already in place. They will disguise themselves as wedding supplies and immediately save Fallies and Gazelle's lover. Leeks will not go with Wayne and his friends because he will expose Prince Nadiel's deception to the entire country. At the wedding he also wanted to summon monsters to disrupt this event. It turns out that Leeks is a demon and a member of the Puppets of Shadow organization. Many demons in every country disguise themselves as he and blend in with humans. Not all demons are evil. The knight who sent the letter earlier from the kingdom was also a friend of Leeks. Lucy has been helping Postman a lot so far and she's been very kind to all the members of the Puppets of Shadow. He also learned that Gazelle's lover is an ordinary human, so he relies on Wayne and his friends to save Gazelle's lover. Wayne and his friends are shocked, because they just found out about Leek's identity. Then they promised to save Gazelle's lover so the Gazelle could be free from the orders of Prince Nadil. After arriving in the kingdom, Wayne and his friends immediately hid in a small street. They let the horse-drawn carriage into the palace. Because the security there was very tight, Wayne and his friends planned to save Gazelle's lover first. Rory and Helen had to lure out the palace guards and couldn't kill them in any way, because this country still needed knights. Then Wayne's plan begins immediately with Wayne disguising himself as an ordinary farmer. But unfortunately they met one knight and he didn't believe. Knight immediately called his friends and then Helen decided to throw Wayne into the palace top floor. Luckily Wayne lands in the room where Gazelle's lover is held hostage. Soon the knights came there because they heard the sound of collapsing building. Then Wayne immediately attacked the knights with radishes to stun them. Afterward Gazelle's girlfriend didn't know what was happening. So Wayne quickly explained the situation. He explains the Nidel used Gazelle for his benefit and this crime must be exposed publicly. Then Wayne immediately carrying Gazelle's girlfriend to the church where Fallis and Nadil were married. But Wayne had to find the church location, because it was his first time in this city. On the other hand Leeks also prepare many monsters to reveal Nadil's crimes. Later in the church a few minutes passed and Valleys arrived at the church and the wedding ceremony had started. Wayne had just found the church and met Helen and Rory. Then Helen said that Wayne had to meet Gazelle first because his girlfriend had been rescued. Helen and Rory would try to explain what is going on to the knights. Inside the church the wedding vows have been spoken and there is only one more procedure left. The groom must kiss the bride on the lips. Valleys has given up on this situation, because there is no other way to save the city of Midas. Al arrived just in time. He immediately cancelled the wedding because Nadil only took advantage of the situation for his benefit. Wayne also said that Prince Nadil's holy sword was a fake. Then all the people from various countries were shocked after hearing the words from Wayne. But Nadil laughs because Wayne can only accuse and can't prove it. He also just found out that Wayne is from the town of Migas that Valleys was thinking about yesterday. Then Nadil said that the holy sword he had was real. Currently the monsters are attacking the city of Midas, so soon the city will be destroyed, because no one is guarding it. Nadil immediately called Gazelle to catch Wayne. But suddenly Nadil was shocked because Gazelle was already with his girlfriend. Then Gazelle, Wayne and Leeks began to publicly expose Nadil's crimes. Leeks summoned many monsters and attacked the city. The officials in every country told Nadil to use his holy sword. Leeks have also brought the holy sword here because this item is stored in a room with very little security. Nadil was very nervous and could not say anything else. Then Wayne immediately threw the holy sword at the monster and the monster destroyed the holy sword easily. Then Gazelle immediately ordered the monsters to return to their respective places through the devil's flute. Officials are disappointed with Nadil's actions and will no longer trust him. Then Helen and Rory immediately brought the Antis Brooks Knights to keep Nadil in prison forever. They also said that the town of Migas would be fine as the adventurers fight to save the city from the monsters' attacks. Case has been successfully resolved by Wayne and his friends. Valleys also hugged Wayne very tightly because she missed him. Valleys confessed her feelings to Wayne in front of Rory and Helen. But Rory couldn't accept this. She also just found out that Valleys has a close relationship with Wayne. She asked Valleys to let Wayne go because she wasn't allowed to hug Wayne yet. But Valleys didn't want to let go of her hug. Then Leeks gave a letter to Valleys' father. This letter was found in Nadil's room. Leeks said that Nadil's attack on the city of Midas today might have something to do with the plan written in the letter. It's also possible that someone who did manipulate to do something like this. Leeks and his organization will investigate this case further in secret. After hearing that, Valleys' father realized Leeks was a member of the Puppets of Shadow. So the king will be waiting for another report of this case from the Puppets of Shadow organization. A few days later Valleys came to the Adventures Guild to present a reward to the adventurers for helping save the town. After that Valleys left immediately and ordered the knights to return to the kingdom. Valleys returned disguised as Philia to speak directly to Rory in a different tone. Be Philia. Rory and Helen will try their hardest and compete for Wayne's heart. After that Wayne immediately harvested vegetables again on his farm. Then Rory and Philia suddenly came there to confirm one thing with Wayne. Which girl Wayne liked. Wayne has been very kind to save Rory, but Philia said that he came to other country to save her. But Wayne was very nervous and couldn't answer their questions. Hey guys, I'm Mark from AnimCap. Today I will continue recapping you the story about Overpowered Farmer. You can check previous parts in the description. Wayne came home and looked at a picture of him with a girl when they were little. Wayne remembered the past when he lived with his parents in the village around the city of Midas. Wayne's father Jill was taking Wayne to harvest the potatoes in the field. Wayne has loved farming since he was a child. After that, Wayne distributed several baskets of potatoes to the villagers. They greatly admired the farm Wayne and his father managed, because the land on their farm was very fertile and well cared for. Not long after, there was a small pink-haired child named Ilvia who was being caught by the residents there because she had stolen vegetables. Elvia was very hungry because she was thrown away by her parents. There were even rumors that her parents had died. Residents often saw Ilvia around the forest in the mountains, and she probably lived there all along. Now Elvia will be captured and sold to slave traders because she always steals vegetables in every field. But suddenly Ilvia could run away because her movements were very agile, and she stole a basket of Wayne's potatoes. Ilvia immediately ate the potatoes because she was very hungry. Soon Wayne found where Ilvia lived and served her some soup. However, Elvia immediately went into hiding because she was afraid of being caught by Wayne. Al tries to reassure Ilvia, but unfortunately she is still afraid to talk to Wayne, so he put the soup his mother made in front of Elvia and immediately headed home. The next day Wayne came there again to give soup to Ilvia. Al did this every day and always fed Ilvia on time. Then Ilvia started talking to Wayne, and she was so happy that she didn't have to steal the vegetables on the farm anymore. When Wayne and Ilvia were chatting, suddenly the residents came and arrested Ilvia. They had been looking for her for days because they couldn't forgive her actions. Because of that, Wayne begged them to let Ilvia go. He promised to replace all the vegetables Ilvia had stolen. But the citizens couldn't accept Wayne's plea because Ilvia would commit another heist soon. Jill came because he heard a noise from a distance. After the villagers explained the situation to Jill, he gave them a rice basket to forgive Elvia. Then the residents forgave Ilvia's actions and brought a basket of rice with happy feelings. After they left, Wayne was worried because the rice was supposed to be for daily food needs. Then Gil said he could find another way to deal with this, and Ilvia quickly took out a basket of potatoes that she still kept. After Jill examined the condition of the potatoes, it turned out that they were still suitable for processing into other foods. Then Wayne asked Ilvia to help cook these potatoes, and she could also live with the Wayne family. 2 years later, Ilvia has become Wayne's half-sister and loves Wayne very much. Ilvia always made food for Wayne and delivered it at lunchtime. Elvia wanted to be with Wayne all the time, but Ilvia had to get along with friends her own age in this village. Elvia was very sad because Wayne did not understand anything about her feelings. Not long after, Tessa came there and asked for help because he was being chased by killer bees. But fortunately, Wayne's mother Lucia attacked the killer bees instantly. Then Jill and Lucia asked Wayne to look after the farm today, because they were going to look for a new house in another town. Ilvia was already a member of the Wayne family, and they had to find a house for some reason. After Jill and Lucia left, Tessa invited Wayne to look for treasure around the mountains. At first, Wayne doesn't want to go because he wants to tend the farm, but Tessa forces him to go because it's such a fun adventure. Then Wayne decided to join Tessa and told Ilvia to stay at home or play with friends her own age. Ilvia wanted to follow Wayne wherever he went, but Wayne rejected her. After Tessa and Wayne arrived in the mountain forest, Tessa told Wayne that Ilvia was often bullied by the children in the village. Wayne's parents also wanted to find a new house because they didn't want Ilvia to be bullied. Previously, Tessa was actually not allowed by Ilvia to say this to Wayne, but he deliberately said it because he wanted Wayne to be by Ilvia's side all the time. After hearing that, Wayne was shocked because he didn't know anything about Ilvia's condition when she was playing with the other children. Then Tessa suggested Wayne bring a valuable item from this treasure in the mountains for Ilvia. Wayne must continue to accompany Ilvia forever until Wayne's parents find a new house. But suddenly Tessa stepped on a button shaped like a rock and they fell into an ancient ruin in the mountains. After they explored the ruins, Tessa found an ancient stone inscription in an unfamiliar language. When Wayne approached the rock, he suddenly felt a great power enter his body. Then something unexpected happened. Suddenly a mountain erupted and Wayne passed out for several days. After Wayne woke up from his stupor, his surroundings were covered in volcanic ash. Tessa said that the citizens made temporary shelters away from the mountains. All fields have also been damaged by volcanic ash. Even the bridge connecting the village to the capital city of Migas has also been damaged. Wayne's parents couldn't come here because the trail was closed and the environmental conditions weren't good for the body. Many residents are also starving and food supplies are dwindling. Wayne's body condition also suddenly deteriorated after receiving power from an ancient stone. But Wayne didn't tell this so Ilvia wouldn't worry about Wayne's condition. Now Wayne's condition worsened. His days passed and he had to rest in the tent every day. Because of that, Ilvia always gave her food rations to Wayne so he could get adequate nutrition. She also lied to Wayne that help from the capital header lived and they had lots of food. Wayne believed Ilvia's words and continued to eat the food she gave him. Ilvia also said that she always wants to be with Wayne and eat with him because she loves Wayne. Likewise, Wayne really loves his half-sister. So many days had passed and Ilvia was no longer strong enough to survive. Then Elvia died because she made a sacrifice to give Wayne her food. Tessa told Wayne about this, which shocked Wayne because Elvia had been lying to him. Wayne didn't know Elvia's true condition. He was very sad because he saw his half-sister had died and he couldn't help her. A few days later, Wayne slayed the dragon around the forest with his bare hands as usual. When Wayne wanted to go home, he suddenly found a girl the same age as Rory laying in the forest. Then Wayne would take the girl to his house because there are lots of monsters in the forest. The next day the girl woke Wayne to ask him a few things. She thought that Wayne kidnapped her to satisfy his lust. Then Wayne explained that he had no such intention. Wayne was worried because a girl seemed to have fallen asleep in a forest full of monsters. Wayne asked what happened to the girl. He is also grateful because her condition is fine. Then the girl said she wanted to head to the Midastown Adventurers Guild to give a quest. She thanked Wayne and was going to go there alone, but he invites the girl to go together to the Adventurers Guild. After all, Wayne had yet to report his quest. She introduced herself and said her name. Her name is Linnea. A few minutes later, after they finished their breakfast, Rory came over to Wayne's house to ask him to go with her to the Adventurers Guild. But suddenly see Linnea, who is wearing Wayne's clothes and robe. Rory was jealous because she thought Wayne had been doing something with Linnea. Because of that, Helen tried to explain what happened. Later then, Wayne and Helen immediately went to the Adventurers Guild meeting room to listen to the quest given by Linnea. Linnea explained that she was from the city of Gaul and the situation there was strange and abnormal. Linnea couldn't explain in more detail because she didn't know the cause of this strange situation. After hearing that, Helen hesitated because it was likely that none of the adventurers would want to take on this quest. Then Linnea asked Wayne was he a great adventure. Linnea wanted Wayne to complete this quest. Then Wayne replied that he had quite great strength, but this adventurous job was only a sideline. Wayne's real profession was that of an ordinary farmer. He was willing to complete Linnea's quest if she wanted it. Wayne also wants to go to the city of Gaul because it is famous for its delicious asparagus food. As a farmer, Wayne is obliged to feel it. Wayne is lucky to meet Linnea, who is from the city of Gaul. After that, Helen gave Linnea a girl's clothes to make her look more feminine. Wayne complimented Linnea because she really suited the outfit. Then Linnea was curious about Wayne, why he wanted to help her and was very kind to strangers. He had just met her and Linnea had thought that Wayne expected something from her. Wayne refuted Linnea's thoughts because he was not a jerk like that. After hearing that Linnea would always be beside Wayne to monitor his behavior, then they took a horse carriage to go to the city of Gaul. The escort man said recently the merchants had never been there because the situation was unfavorable for them. Shortly after, a group of orc monsters came, knocking Wayne unconscious. The group of orc monsters had a strong passion for Wayne, but luckily they could survive the pursuit. When Wayne had regained consciousness, he was shocked because he had fainted on Linnea's lap. Then Wayne saw a pendant necklace around his neck and she explained that the necklace had a calming heart effect. Shortly after they arrive at the town of Gaul, their escort man said that Linnea was a beautiful and kind girl. When Wayne passed out earlier, Linnea hugged him, stroked his head and put Wayne to sleep in Linnea's lap. When they entered the town of Gaul, Wayne saw that guards wearing a mop as a weapon. Not only that, but all of the merchants there were behaving strangely. When Wayne ordered asparagus food from one of the traders, it turned out that the food served was burnt. The vegetable trader also looked strange. Then Wayne was suddenly taken by two mysterious people somewhere because they thought Wayne was an object. Luckily Wayne got away from them and he was calmed down by Linnea again. Then she invited Wayne to rest at her house. Linnea explained that her family was famous for the pendant necklaces. Wayne was wearing the same as Linnea's and maybe this necklace would keep them sane. In this city, the pendant necklace has been given power by the gods and has the effect of driving away evil. Then Wayne asked Linnea for 2 more pendant necklaces. Wayne also asked about Linnea, about her parents who hadn't been seen here earlier. Then Linnea answered with fear that her parents had disappeared since the strange phenomena in this city took place. The next day Wayne met with the leader of the city of Gaul, Remer Horn. Then Wayne wanted to ask him a few things about the strange phenomena that exists in this city. So Remer invited him to chat at his house to tell him about it. But suddenly Wayne is being led by 2 mysterious people again. Luckily Wayne escaped again from them and immediately met Linnea. She warns that Wayne should not easily trust strangers he has just met. When our duo arrived to the residence, there were photos of asparagus displayed on every wall. After meeting with Remer, they started chatting about a strange phenomenon in the city of Gaul. But suddenly Remer said that Wayne didn't need to worry about the situation and his knights immediately threatened Wayne. Of course he easily defeated the knights. Suddenly Linnea defended Remer in front of Wayne. Then Remer showed his true demon form in front of Wayne. He was named Bridra. He had purposely lured Wayne here through Linnea because he wanted Wayne to become his slave. Bridra already knew that Wayne had killed Romeo and Ouroboros. Demon wanted to control Wayne from messing up his plans in this world. The residents of this city had been controlled by the demon through the goddess statue in the city center, so Wayne wouldn't be able to fight him now. At first Wayne was shocked when he learned that Linnea had betrayed him. However, Wayne already understood Linnea's current situation and didn't intend to do bad. Linnea cried because this is the first time she has met a man who genuinely wants to help her. When the demon wanted to control Wayne with his demon stone, statue of the goddess in the city center was destroyed. Wayne said that his friends destroyed the statue of the demon wouldn't be able to rule in this world that easily. Demon was surprised because Wayne had come to this city only with Linnea and she had been watching Wayne all the time. Then Wayne explained that the two mysterious people who suddenly took him were his friends. They were Helen and Rory. After they succeeded in bringing Wayne somewhere, Wayne was told by them about the cause of the strangeness that existed in the city. They were unaffected by the demon control thanks to the help of their respective magic. The rock that Wayne broke earlier was a communication device made by Helen. Helen and Rory had already freed Linnea's parents, but Demon threatened to kill Reamer if Wayne dared to attack him. Wayne could bring Reamer back to his senses by feeding him asparagus. Wayne knew that Reamer really loved this food. Then Wayne immediately killed Demon, who underestimated human strength. The next day, Linnea's parents Reamer and Linnea thank Wayne and his friends. Gull City was saved by great adventures like that. Linnea also gave the pendant necklace to Wayne as a gift in his lucky charm. Then Linnea also gave Wayne one more gift. She also said that she will become her girlfriend one day. A few days later, Wayne and his friends were harvesting lots of vegetables on the farm. Then Fallies was curious about the pendant necklace on Rory and Helen's neck. They said that this necklace was given by Wayne when they were running a quest in Gull City. Helen also said that Wayne has this same necklace given by Lydia. Fallies is envious and jealous after hearing that, and she is also surprised that Wayne has added another girl to his collection. Not long after, Wayne screamed because there was a plant destroying vegetables that he hated the most. The girls were used to Wayne being like that because he still chose to love his vegetables over the girls. After harvesting some vegetables, Wayne tries to sell them directly at the market. He was also assisted by Fallies and Rory. Many of Wayne's customers have been satisfied with his vegetables so far. They were happy because Wayne could sell his vegetables directly at the city market. Shortly after, Fallies' father came to Wayne's shop wearing a robe, and Fallies immediately hid there. Wayne was surprised that a king was suddenly in the marketplace without bodyguards. Fallies' father wants to buy Wayne's vegetables and informs him that Fallies is ready to marry Wayne. The king can also prepare another farm if Wayne wants to marry Fallies. Wayne was tempted by King's offer, but Rory stopped Wayne. She said that Wayne should not marry someone else just for the sake of farming. Fallies suddenly threw a potato at Rory because she had thwarted her father's offer. But Rory dodged it and the potato hit Wayne's head. When Wayne passed out, he saw a goddess trying to talk to him. But unfortunately, the goddess' communication was hindered by something inside Wayne's body. After Wayne woke up, he told Fallies' father to talk about this marriage later, because Wayne would think about that incident. Several hours passed and Wayne's vegetables were sold out thanks to the help from Fallies and Rory. Then they said goodbye to Wayne because they wanted to do their own activities. Afterward, Wayne buys pesticides to kill the plants that disturb his farm's vegetables. Wayne met with Leeks, who was delivering letters as usual. Not long after, a child wanted to be captured to be used as a slave. Seeing this, Wayne immediately saved the child easily. Afterward, Wayne saw the child's condition and she looked fine. But Wayne noticed horns on the girl and Leeks recognizes her. She is Yulia, who comes from the demon and is the Demon King's daughter who will become the next demon leader. Then Yulia asks for help from Leeks and Wayne to save the demon's kingdom. Before Yulia was in Midas City, she played with dolls in her room, but suddenly Yulia's personal maid said that Yulia had to go elsewhere immediately, because the demon empire was in a dangerous situation. Then he possibly transfers Yulia to the Midas City. After hearing that, Wayne agreed to the quest from Yulia. But Leeks says that the demon empire is across the ocean far away and it takes 3 days to get there. Then Wayne ordered Leeks to kill the destructive plants on his farm. Wayne knows the fastest way to get to the demon kingdom, and it turns out that Wayne's way of doing it is like this. He just runs over the ocean. Seems legit. After arriving at the demon empire island, Yulia thanked Wayne because he wanted to help her. Yulia also called Wayne brother, which made him remember Ilvia. After that, Volp came there and suddenly attacked them. After that epic battle, Wayne defeats Volp. He took Yulia away from there, but it turns out that Volp didn't faint and was about to attack Wayne again. Then Wayne's mother has suddenly came there to save Wayne and knocked Volp unconscious. Lucia came here because she was told by Leeks earlier. Volp has strong magic because he is the best magician in the demon empire. Yulia is very proud of Volp because he always takes care of Yulia every day, starting from tidying clothes, roping Yulia while sleeping, washing her very gently, and other. Seems kinda sass. Then Lucia invited them to the demon empire to see the situation there, but Wayne felt that there was something strange about his mother.
After they arrived at the Demon Empire, it turned out that the knights and Yulia's father had been defeated by someone. Yulia was very surprised after learning about this situation, and Wayne tried to calm her down because her father had only fainted. Then Wayne saw a knight who was still conscious there, and he immediately asked about who had carried out this attack, but suddenly something happened there. Fortunately, Wayne managed to save Yulia in time. Lucia said that Wayne should not go against her because she is Wayne's mother. Then Wayne said that Lucia was not Wayne's real mother. He had been suspicious of Lucia since the first time they met on the island. The real Lucia would have embraced and worried Wayne with her loving obsession. But the current Lucia was different from how Wayne felt. Upon hearing that, Lucia laughed and immediately revealed her true form. Al was shocked because Ilvia was still alive. Then Ilvia said that she was blessed by the evil god to be able to live again, and she's really miss Wayne. According to Ilvia, the evil god was wise because he always accepted the sorrow and hatred of humans. Ilvia was also given the power by the evil god to absorb all the hatred in this world. Wayne managed to save Yulia and was shocked to see Ilvia's extraordinary power. Then Ilvia said that she could destroy this world easily if she wanted to. But Ilvia wouldn't do that because she still loves Wayne. She also did not expect that Wayne would be able to quickly save Yulia when she was almost hit by Ilvia's attack. She says that evil god's power was still sealed in Wayne's body. After hearing that, Wayne was surprised because he didn't feel anything about the existence of the evil god. He had also never met the evil god, and why did the evil god give his powers to Wayne? Then Ilvia said that he had met the evil god once. Ilvia noticed that Wayne's status attributes grows suddenly, and there was a farmer's ability that turned into an extraordinary power. If Wayne wanted to know why the evil god had given him his powers, he had to join Ilvia and side with the evil god. Ilvia promised to tell everything Wayne wanted to know. He could also live with Ilvia forever. Suddenly Ilvia started control Wayne's mind. Luckily, Yulia managed to disrupt her plan. But Ilvia immediately grabbed Yulia by the neck and wanted to kill her. Ilvia also stopped Wayne with her powers. Wayne immediately forced himself to save Yulia, and suddenly Linnea's pendant activated itself. The time in the world stopped, and Wayne saw the same goddess figure as when he fainted. She was the goddess of goodness that Wayne had wanted to talk to for a long time. But the good goddess intentions couldn't be carried out because the evil god always blocked her communication with Wayne. Thanks to the pendant, with God's grace, the goddess can communicate with Wayne now. Then the goddess immediately removed the evil god's power from Wayne's body and gave him a bit of her power. She apologizes for not being able to give Wayne her full strength for now. Wayne's job is simply to save Yulia with this new power. Then the goddess said goodbye to him and immediately rewound time so that Wayne could save Yulia. She was saved by Wayne and Volpe. But Ilvia couldn't be taken down by a small attack like this. She immediately attacked Volpe and was about to kill him. But Wayne immediately shouted to stop after hearing that Ilvia felt no interest in killing Yulia anymore. She tells Wayne to meet up another time and that she just wants to be alone with him. Volpe wanted Wayne to explain about Ilvia. Then the demon lord, or Yulia's father, had regained consciousness from his stupor. He asked Wayne about what happened after the demon lord fainted earlier. Then Wayne told all the events and Ilvia's identity. He also inquired about the evil god to the demon lord, but unfortunately he didn't know the details about him, because it's very difficult to find information. But the demon lord will tell Wayne if he knows anything about the evil god. Then Wayne wanted to return to the city to continue his activities as usual. Yulia hugged Wayne because she would miss him for sure. Then Al promised to meet Yulia another time. Upon seeing this, Volpe was furious with Wayne for targeting Yulia. After that, the demon lord said that Volpe was acting sass. A few days later, Wayne arrived in the forest around the town and was carrying out his usual Adventures Guild quest. He was still thinking about Ilvia's words back then. He guessed that the evil god's power that Ilvia was referring to was when Wayne explored the ruins with Tessa, where Wayne met a figure like a dragon whose size was very large, and something entered Wayne's body. Because of that, Wayne would ask Tessa for details about what happened after Wayne fainted. Tessa says that after Wayne passed out, a volcano erupted and they could get out of it before the ruins was destroyed. Then the entire village area was hit by a volcanic ash. After hearing that Wayne was going to go to the Adventures Guild, Wayne also invites Tessa to become an adventurer like him. Tessa says he'll think about it. In the forest, Wayne was suddenly chased by an orc monster and he immediately hit the monster. Unfortunately, the orc didn't die when it took Wayne's punch. Then Jack and his friends helped Wayne again. They saw Wayne's previous attack and they also felt that there was something strange about Wayne's current attack power. Then they immediately returned to the Adventures Guild. Then Al told the problem about the orc monster to Helen and Rory. When Helen saw Wayne's status attributes, she and Rory were shocked because Wayne's status attributes had already dropped. But Wayne's strength was still above the average adventurer. Helen and Rory asked him about the reason for his low status attribute. Wayne purposely did not mention the incident when he was in the Demon King's castle because he did not want to worry them. Shortly after Leeks arrives to deliver a letter from Lucia to Wayne. When he read his mother's letter, Lucia said that she understood the situation Wayne was in, so Lucia would immediately help Wayne. Lucia also told Wayne to tell her about any problems. She would always help Wayne at any time. Before long, Fallies arrives and wants to ask Wayne on a date. Philia hasn't been getting enough time to be with Wayne lately. Then Helen and Rory disapprove of Philly's request because they also want to date Wayne. Because of that, Wayne invited them to join Jack and his friends. After that, Wayne and the girls would take care of the farm again as usual. The girls still compete for Wayne's heart, but he still chooses to be an ordinary farmer. Wayne advises that many mysteries have yet to be revealed, but he is determined to develop the powers of the goddess to deal with what the future holds now. After that, we see Ylvia standing somewhere, and that's the end of the season 1. There are still a lot of mysteries left. To be honest, this anime was quite good. Nothing special with the plot, but still kinda good. Write what you thought about this anime in the comments and I'll see you soon.